for you? What's the science? What's today's move?
Yeah, this is, by the way, this isn't even my chain. I stole it from somebody. Yeah, I'll tell y'all who that was.
Stealing chains now?
Not really steal.
Does it mean anything to you all?
Yeah, a little bit.
I saw 50 was talking about something like that in the interview recently. I hate when I think back to that time where I was at in life.
So, you got a lot of people who are not really happy about the fact that, my album is about to drop. They're not really happy about, Lord, give me a sign. And, we in here and, things of that nature. But you know what?
When he signed that contract, the marriage contract, he got trophies. He started getting Grammys left and right, man.
The kids even have Grammys. They don't sing yet. They don't sing. They don't rap yet.
I'm just talking.
I watched 50 saying, 50 did not win Best New Artist at the Grammys.
There was nothing bigger than
Nothing bigger, and nobody came out the gate like that. My first album didn't do it. I never saw someone's first album and the wave happen like he had.
So they don't give you the trophies. I got the checks. I didn't get They got all.
Criticizing the questionable power conflicts in the industry, he asserts that certain celebrities will stop at nothing to keep their success. He asserts that they shut down everyone who attempts to shine too brightly. The list of careers that were allegedly stalled by Jay Z and Beyoncé. Moreover, it is startling. Some individuals survived, but legendary figures like Big L, DMX, and Aaliyah died far too soon. Some are accusing the Carters of being responsible for the abrupt disappearance of celebrities like Emery and Carrie Hilson, who vanished as their careers were only getting started.
It's like, why every time my album dropped, Jay would drop.
And it's coming out. My dear, coming out.
I never understood that every single album that I dropped, Jay dropped right with him.
Let's do that.
How many artists were sidelined during the Carter Empire's dominance? And what is truly going on behind those closed doors? And why are well-known artists like 50 and Eminem going public at this time? Eminem's lack of social media presence should not be taken as a sign. His remarks have a significant effect. Furthermore, Jay Z and Beyoncé are definitely among the artists he disapproves of for allegedly undermining others to keep their popularity.
But that video with Marshall and Haley, this is so crazy. There was points that who's receiving wow offers. Like they go, 50 Cent Eminem, this is out for tour opportunities. He would go, nah, I just don't want to go and come back and 50 grand.
I don't want to miss my daughter, man.
Right? And I'm like, yo, because I was like, you didn't hear how much money they just had? Why do you want to stay here? I didn't understand it when he was saying it, but then later, like, I went to a wedding. And I'm like, yo.
This is very personal, Eminem. It's more than just some drama in the music business. You see, 50 Cent is not just a friend, he is M's lifelong brother. They have been close for a long time. 50 even admitted to crying during Eminem's daughter Haley's wedding last year. That's love. Given that 50 and Jay-Z's tension has been brewing for years and shows no signs of abating, it is simple to conclude that he is also probably not sending Jay-Z any Christmas cards. The early 2000s were a time of clarity. If you go with my opponents, you are my opponent. It's that simple.
That's the issue. You might have some feelings towards me. That is just everywhere I got an issue. You show up around them. So, I mean, if you go out, like, forget music. Because the music ain't usually my motivation. My motives come off the curb. So if you sit there and keep me around, let's go.
A few songs were released by M and J together in the early 2000s, but the atmosphere soon changed when M discovered that Jay had been quietly insulting 50 and trying to derail his career. Then, in 2023, 50 finally opened up. He publicly called out Jay-Z for trying to use his NFL connections to prevent 50 from reaching the Super Bowl stage. The surprise was that M did not support Jay-Z's decision, which did not succeed. M took charge and sent a strong message to the NFL in support of 50. Not even M, no 50.
So I think they still harbor some energy towards me.
You think you were purposely left out of the ad?
No. I think that they were saying the NFL has some issues with me that I don't know what those issues are. Like, I don't. What is the issue? You start looking at. That's.
Eminem and 50 Cent have also teamed up to challenge the Carters during the Grammy. Eminem is not holding back in his pursuit of Jay Z and Beyoncé. He is doing much more than just endorsing 50 Cent in his continuous conflict with the Carters. M claims that in addition to disregarding other performers, Jay Z and Beyoncé allegedly harmed their careers behind the scenes. Jay Z had previously gotten into a confrontation with Eminem when he tried to stop 50 Cent from performing at the Super Bowl. Since it did not sit well with him, and is now speaking up more than ever before.
But you feel like you had to sell your soul to get them. And you didn't know if you wanted it for the recognition or the trophies, but then what's the difference? You know, and that Grammys pretty much suck the blood of artists and nominate them, have them come to the shows. And
which they do.
Is that
with every there, yeah. And I'm just tired of seeing it. And for whatever reason, it's like they're always pitching this hint that you might win album of the year, which is.
According to M, he wouldn't even mind losing if the winner actually put out a better album. What truly upset him was how the Grammys courted him but chose to ignore him. They used his name, appearance, and fame to boost ratings before leaving him empty-handed. And when someone asked if he would ever return or if he had any influence over who won, and didn't even flinch, he stated that the votes don't matter because everything has been predetermined.
Not win Best New Artist at the Grammys.
There was nothing bigger than.
Nothing bigger, and nobody since maybe like Snoop came out the gate like that. My first album didn't do it. I never saw someone's first album in the wave happen like he had. And then he doesn't get it. And then I get up there another year, and what was it, the Eminem show? And it was like, whatever, I'm fine if I lose to Kanye or someone that I'm like, okay, I respect that. I know who that is, and Kanye has a huge following, and he's made a massive impact on music. Fine, I'm good with that. But don't feel to get us all here to use your selling point for your flipping show and stiff everybody every single time. And I said, after that point in time, I was like, don't ever ask me to flip in here again. Please do not ask me. My answer is no for 100 million.
But 50 went further than that, claiming that Jay Z's marriage, rather than his music, was the primary reason behind his success. 50 asserts that Jay Z and Beyoncé are handed awards simply for showing up, as their presence immediately increases the show's popularity, and that perception, not talent, is what wins at the Grammys. However, 50 didn't hold back and didn't even hesitate. Repeating his criticism on a Bold podcast, he claimed that Jay Z wins Grammys year after year. Their association with Beyoncé is talked about way more than Jay Z's actual lyrics. He wasn't trying to sugarcoat it. After that, he flipped the narrative, and chaos followed.
Do you have a vote in it?
First of all, that vote is fake. That's not a real vote. That's not a real vote. They give it to who they want to give it to. They give it to their darlings. Oh, this got critical acclaim, but it sold 2 records. Like, it ain't about always what you sell. I get that. Vanilla Ice, I understand. You know what I'm saying? Like, but there comes a point where when an overwhelming something comes along that has this wave and impact on music, and you give it to a Lada Dottie. Who? Lada Dottie. It's only Lada Dottie.
In his opinion, Jay Z and Beyoncé's marriage may no longer even be based on love. He simply called it a contract. He hinted that the power couple might be maintaining appearances to protect their brand and secure their spot at the top of the industry. But it goes deeper than that. Speaking with Flea, 50 reignited Jay Z's fervor in an interview with Cameron, accusing him once more of playing unfair behind closed doors. Despite 50's assertion that Jay Z had nothing more to offer, he is still reportedly breaking contracts out of pure resentment, not only in the music industry but also in the business sector. That is really intense.
16, 17 Grammys since he's been with Beyonce. Right? And you go prior to that,
one. You see what I'm saying? So that came in association, like you see the kids even have Grammys. Like they don't sing yet. They don't sing.
Right.
They don't rap yet. And they already have Grammys. So it's like they give them this trophy so we secure that they're coming to the award show. It meant that much to the culture that they just gave them the things that would later. To me, I didn't care about the trophy.
Those in their 50s are not the only ones who think that Jay Z has been undercutting others out of jealousy and control, which is alarming. These claims have been circulating for years. For decades, Jay Z has been accused of disrespectfully treating his peers. In particular, given the unclear circumstances surrounding Big L's death in the early 1990s, fans continue to wonder if Jay Z's rise was completely genuine. It's one of the most unsettling tales about the renowned Harlem musician Big L, who also introduced Jay Z, a force in the Harlem underground scene due to his amazing freestyle skills. He signed with Columbia Records in 1992 and put out an incredible debut album. Nevertheless, Columbia cut ties within a year, even though the publicity was strong. The label cited creative differences as the reason.
This contract, the big one was with Beyonce. When he signed that contract, the marriage contract, he got trophies. Not just fucking two. Like those freaking vocalists came running in, buddy. He started getting Grammys left and right, man. I remember you said, if you look at that, I look at you. Wow. Oh, wow. They're gonna let us die, just. Oh, that's good. Go on, I ain't show up. Oh, Lord. 10 since he been down. Look, he had one, bro. Hard Knock Life. You're not wrong. It was 6 times. You got drinking. Fix the cup.
Wait a minute.
His success is derived from the marriage.
I've absolutely been treated different.
The accolade. Because he's no longer viewed as like a street or gangster rapper. Now he's viewed as a businessman, entrepreneur, family man.
And the biggest ones because of the position.
There's a lot more to that story. Some claim that Big L, however, had no plans to give up. After Columbia left him, he became independent and founded his own company, Flamboyant Entertainment. As his second record was ready to take off, Dame Dash, a co-founder of Roc-A-Fella, approached him. Dame reportedly wanted to sign Big L and his team together. As the deadline drew near, tragedy struck. This is where things start to become suspicious. But the whole incident shook the neighborhood. Despite being detained in connection with the murder, Big L's childhood friend, Gerard Woodley, was not imprisoned due to a lack of adequate evidence.
Right, with the Super Bowl. Because he thought like, yeah, guys, doing some wild shit. Because he was saying that to Eminem that the NFL had the issue with me. And I'm like, well, what's the issue? Why don't I have an issue when I'm becoming a partner in the actual team? But they had an issue with my performance, right?
Jay Z told Dr. Dre, just for people who's not up on this, or Eminem, that he didn't want you to perform part of that Super Bowl they had a couple years ago. Why do you think that is?
Well, I just
threatened.
Yeah,
possibly.
Not even threatened. You know, I think it's just when you take the competition from like our culture is competitive, man. It's like it is.
In 2016, Woodley was shot in Harlem and lost his life. Big L's murder is still unsolved, which is where the speculation starts. Jaguar Wright and other industry insiders have made bold claims that perhaps Jay Z is well aware of what happened with Big L. Jay Z's silence is seen as telling, not merely questionable, she has even said. Furthermore, the name Jay Z has a negative connotation that is not exclusive to Big L. Now let's talk about DMX, another major figure in the game who allegedly criticized Jay Z for undermining him before dying in a very unusual fashion.
I would just rather do it on the stand, Sean. Please sue me. I want to go to court. And I want to talk about Big L on the stand.
Wow.
L is the one that put Jay Z on. Jay Z was the last person to see Big L alive. His death made it possible for reasonable doubt to live.
Whoa.
Although hardcore DMX fans know that is not the complete story, Jay Z claimed that even when X struggled, the energy was always there when he appeared on LeBron's program following his ex's death in April 2021.
Everything was good. You know, I go to do a 6th album, and, you know, Jay Z became president. Yeah. You know, when he first got the job, he hit me with the call like, yo, dog, M.H. is running the building, like, yo, you good? Finished the album, shoot the video. What happened? Go on vacation and, you know, we don't know. What you mean you don't know? How do you listen to a whole album, pick a single?
In a statement prior to his death, DMX accused Jay Z of being so driven by power and rivalry that he actively blocked the release of X's 6th album, which he viewed as betrayal rather than conflict. When Jay Z took over as president of Def Jam Records in 2004 after Lyor Cohen left, everything changed. After that, everything started to go downhill, especially for DMX, who put out 5 consecutive #1 albums between 1998 and 2003. For many years, X had been the cornerstone of Def Jam, but he claims that when Jay Z took that big chair, everything changed.
You know, because at first you retire, you know, then get me.
DMX claims that once Jay Z took charge, he started blocking the release of X's 6th album, You're the Dog, again. Jay Z's motivation was to avoid any major competition affecting his own return. Jay Z was clearly paving the road for himself after switching to his artist, Redman, according to DMX.
I think one man could destroy another man's life. It's ultimately in your own decisions. You know, I had a lot of issues. Like I said, legal issues at the time. And, you know, my mind wasn't where I'm at now today. Like, I used to have questions like, why every time my album dropped, Jay would drop right on time. He wouldn't let me breathe or right before me. Like, I was always close. And I never understood that every single album that I dropped.
The tension wasn't limited to DMX. Beanie Sigel was also in a similar situation. With his successful albums, Beanie had been gaining popularity quickly and growing into one of Roc-A-Fella's most valued artists. But everything started to decline all of a sudden. According to Beanie and his close associates, Jay Z began to fear that Beanie might dominate the stage and shine too brightly. Then rumors claimed that Jay Z also started to interfere with Beanie's records.
Jay Z, I know you got killers, please.
Additionally, it didn't stop there. Rumor had it that Jay Z would release his album at the same time as Beanie's, dulling the excitement and overshadowing his creativity. Additionally, by allowing him to promote only a limited number of songs, Beanie's side claimed that Jay Z essentially blocked his opportunity before it even began. Now, some could dismiss this as just artists pointing fingers or holding grudges. To be honest though, when so many well-known names from different circles start to tell the same story about one man, you have to start asking yourself if it's all bitterness. Or is Jay involved in all of this behind-the-scenes interference? Let's be real, even Kanye West, who had previously called Jay-Z family, eventually had second thoughts. After years of dedication, he hinted that things were so tense that he was worried Jay-Z could become a target.
But that's how they try to categorize.
They can't control it. You get what I'm saying? They can control Shaq. They can control Charles Barkley. They can control LeBron James. They can control Jay Z and Beyoncé. I know you, but they can't control me. You see, it ain't no name I won't.
Simply being beef is a paranoid betrayal. Despite this, Kanye persisted in laying everything on a table, accusing Jay Z and Beyoncé of being nothing more than industry figures who followed directives to maintain their influence. He also criticized them strongly. The empowerment icon Beyoncé will now be discussed. Yes, that's how she appears, but she has been accused behind closed doors of sidelining other female performers who were seen as competitors.
Where you been, A. Marie?
I've been out in
Talk about your career. Everybody always says A. Marie should have been a superstar. Because she's pretty, she can dance, she can sing. What? What do you think?
One of the most well-known tales is that she was envious of the late Aaliyah. Moreover, it was based on personal factors rather than just Aaliyah's fame or talent. Before he started dating Beyoncé, Jay Z reportedly was with Aaliyah. According to Dame Dash, Aaliyah did not feel the same way about Jay Z despite his intense interest in her. When Beyoncé abruptly entered the scene, everything changed. Beyoncé announced their relationship to the world in 2001. Since the date is just too close to Aaliyah's tragic and mysterious plane crash in the Bahamas, which happened only months ago, fans are still wondering about it. But even after Aaliyah passed, Beyoncé allegedly continued trying to outshine the competition. After she broke up with Jay Z and left Destiny's Child, more speculations started to surface. According to rumors, Beyoncé partnered with hit producer Rich Harrison after he had been working with Amory, another rising star who was getting a lot of attention.
When you buck, they buck harder, and they make threats, and those threats are huge ones. And you know what I mean? You don't feel like you have a choice. I really didn't feel like I had a choice.
Many people think that Amory's 2005 hit song, One Thing, had a lot of influence on Beyoncé's Crazy in Love. One of Beyoncé's most well-known conflicts was the situation with Carrie Hilson. The irony is that it all started when Carrie allegedly sent Beyoncé a diss track. Later, Carrie claimed that to create buzz and controversy, her producers pressured her into recording it. It became even more tense when Carrie declined to hold a magazine featuring Jay Z and Beyoncé on the cover while doing a red carpet interview. At first, Carrie denied making light of the situation.
Destroy anyone who speaks out against him. Okay, I get the threats, but you have to remember one thing. I know your deepest secrets. I know so much about you and what you've done. I know so much on how you got where you are, how you stepped on a mini people. Beyonce, how you guys ended Carrie Hilson's career.
One moment led to chaos. The Beyoncé hive surrounded her, criticized her online, and reportedly even acted aggressively. Fans reportedly confronted her physically, and by 2020, Carrie revealed that she had been receiving serious threats over the entire situation. As if things couldn't get much more intense, Uncle Ron, a former celebrity bodyguard who passed away from pneumonia in November of last year, also spoke out before his passing. He claimed that Beyoncé and Jay Z strategically discredited musicians to achieve their fame. He didn't just share his opinions, he spoke as though he had deep insight into the industry. According to reports, the number of musicians who have been blocked, blackballed, or otherwise is getting too long to ignore after being sidelined by the Carters. Let's be honest. Those stories are all too significant for a single video, and that says a lot. When huge stars like 50 Cent and Eminem speak out, it's becoming more than just gossip, even though some fans still brush it off as jealousy. We would like to hear from you right away, as it is starting to look like a clear pattern. We've read all of your comments, so please give your thoughts. Do you think that this is simply hate and rumors, or are these coincidences hiding something real, or are Beyoncé and Jay Z truly suppressing the competition?